Bam, we're live. Alright, so here, my buddy Luke, about to do a review of Alfonso Cuarón's, I think that's how you say his last name, Gravity. Now, I saw Children of Men back in 2006. I think that's when Children of Men came out. And I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And Gravity... Oh my goodness.
Mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing. First off, there's gonna be spoilers, so yeah. But let's kind of like break this down to sections. All right. So, what do you think of special effects?
Oh, top notch. Never seen a movie like it before.
Right.
And the fact too that the scenes were so long and just kept going. It was almost like one big scene. That's what it was.
Oh my God! The opening like 10 or so minutes was outstanding. There were these bitch ass kids next to us that were making all this noise, but subtracting them from the equation, the first 10 minutes were literally jaw dropping. Like, I couldn't believe how
well it flowed too.
Yeah, how fluid and natural
from
it felt.
Going around the station.
Yeah.
To going through the helmet, to going just around them, it just was so fluid. It was like almost like another person was there with you.
I was like, why aren't there more movies like this? You know, like this brought an experience I've never had with a movie before. Like, there were so many times where I forgot that I was looking at special effects.
It put you on the edge of the seat. It was just amazing, and now you know why the director took so long to perfect it.
Yeah. The movie was supposed to come out in around the time when Tree of Life came out. I think that was 2011, right? Let me know down in the comments below. But I've been waiting a long time to see this movie. It totally exceeded my expectations, for sure. I mean, I'm not sure what your expectations were.
I've seen the preview. It looked really cool. I wanted to see the effects, especially in 3D. But honestly, I was worried that it was going to be short-lived because it looked like something, how long can you just show somebody drifting in space?
Yeah.
But then once you start watching it, and it has a storyline and so much to it, it was just very creative how it went to scene to scene. I was blown away. I was expecting to rate it maybe an 8 out of 10. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the movie, even though I'm not a huge Sandra Bullock fan, I gave it a 10 out of 10.
You gave it 10 out of 10? Yeah. Oh my goodness. To say he doesn't do that is an understatement. But, speaking of which, the performances, I thought the performances were pretty... I thought they were pretty solid, actually.
Very solid. I really liked George Clooney in it. I thought he did an amazing job.
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock had some really good moments too throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, she really carried.
Can't deny it.
She really carried the whole film. Thinking about it in hindsight,
the emotion, the feeling, you could feel it in every scene.
Yeah, I almost felt like though on certain occasions, like George Clooney sort of outclassed her in performance. Like in the one sequence where he's telling her to let me go, and he kind of lets himself go, and he's drifting off. The way that he was like talking to her and like comforting her as she was getting into the hatch, like that shit was so.
He was like the veteran, and she was the rookie, basically.
Yeah.
He knew what could happen, and he just accepted it. He knew before he was even in space that this could happen.
Yeah.
And he just acted like he was having a casual conversation with somebody he just walked past in a store.
Yeah.
But it was going to be the last conversation he'd ever have.
Yeah, like this movie really makes you realize that in your dying moments, you should like embrace it, like be fearless. You know what I mean? Like, I love the way that George Clooney was just so, like, he knew he was about to die, but it was just like whatever, because there's literally nothing I can do about it.
And how
so
about realism? The realism in this film. Everything was just as real as you really could be. Yeah. There was one scene where I thought, oh no, he did something fake. But then you realize, okay, he was being as realistic as he possibly could.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, especially even down to the sound. What blew me away in the first 10-15 minutes is like the only thing you heard is literally what they were hearing. Like Sandra Bullock, she was like unscrewing something, and like that was all that you heard, like her breathing, her unscrewing that thing, unless other people were talking or unless like music was going on in their helmets.
And I noticed that the only time you really heard sound was when there's the presence of oxygen, because really you need oxygen to have any sound.
Yeah.
So it was very realistic.
Like when the debris was coming by, it was just like,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, just completely no sound.
Or they show
That
that
was
graphic
brilliant.
scene of that astronaut with a hole through his head.
Oh yeah,
How he's like instantly froze, and how it was just incredible.
yeah. I'm surprised I made it to the PG-13. By the way, was it PG-13? I'm pretty sure it was. But God, there were so many moments that were so jaw-dropping. Let me tell you, the part where she was alone and she had to detach that giant parachute thing or whatever, and like the whole shuttle got hit by debris, and just the way she was hanging on, and like the way everything exploded around her.
It was like a pure adrenaline rush.
That
as soon
was
as
the
you watched
most extraordinary thing I think I've ever seen in terms of CGI. Like literally, I've never. That might be the best explosion in the history of cinema for real. Like, how the hell could you render?
And the craziest thing is the whole explosion was without sound.
Yeah,
You didn't need it. It was so dramatic and so eventful. You didn't need any of it.
yeah, and the music was extraordinary. I don't know who the composer was, but that dude needs to win like an Oscar, because even when the title sequence came on, it you know, like it shocks you, you know. Really intense score. But that explosion, man, I don't understand how you could render all those individual particles, you know. That shit was so incredible.
Can you imagine the time and effort they put into every little piece of that scene?
Oh my god.
It was so impressive. If they don't get some kind of nomination for that movie.
Oh yeah, first off, they have to win visual effects. Like, I loved Elysium, but
It doesn't even compare.
it does not compare.
does.
It has to
Top notch, but does not compare. This is like in another league.
it has to win best visual effects. I will say that. That's a bold statement, but it has to. What movie can compare to what was
I think the
done
only thing
here?
that comes close to it, besides Elysium, would be the Hobbit. They will have some good scenes, but
Yeah,
it's not going
but-
to be anywhere close to it.
No,
I don't think anything's going to touch it.
The Hobbit 2, the Hobbit 2 special effects feels very close to what happened in the first installment, and there's no way Gravity has to win that,
Oh, yeah, without a
hands down. I mean, there were just so many times where I forgot. I never felt like I was watching CGI, and I don't honestly think that's ever happened to me before in a movie. Like Avatar. Prior to seeing this movie, Avatar was the best special effects I've ever seen in a movie before, period. But watching Gravity, I never thought I was looking at special effects.
I think the only thing that ever gave away
Like,
in the
it was
movie
awkward.
was when they're panning out and they're getting further out, and you're looking at the astronauts' faces. You can
Yeah.
see just a little bit, but not enough where it ruins it.
No.
But when you're closer or anything else in the scene, there's nothing that gave it away.
No, man. Like, it for real, as cheesy as it sounds, it feels like they legit just filmed on location.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. By the way, I was telling Luke this. The way they used the Earth was, I think that really added on to the 10 out of 10. Like, I don't know. The way that they showcased the Earth, it was almost like it was a third-party character. And there's so much detail. It was, like, stupidly rendered. Just amazingly rendered.
Yep.
Somebody who didn't know much about movies would be like, wow, is that real footage of the Earth, you know? And that's extraordinary because it was completely fake. And just the lighting that was on the Earth and the level of detail in this movie is just ludicrous to me.
It was.
It's difficult for me to wrap my mind around it, actually.
You will literally sit there and think about it for hours after watching it. It'll still think
Yeah.
about it. And it's not just, I mean, visual effects, the feeling you got from the movie, very good acting.
Yeah, great story, too.
Great storyline to it. A lot of it just flowed. Everything went together. The music, the acting,
Yeah.
the effects, everything went together.
And the ending was very unexpected. Like when you watch the trailer, you're just like, I already know how this ends. You don't, because it ended not in the way that I expected. The part where she was underwater, even at the very end, I was just like, holy shit! Like I don't, for the first time, I'm just like, I don't know what's real and what's not real. You know, what is real? Is she actually in the water? Is she not? Like, that's amazing. But we're at the 10-minute mark, so I don't know. Final thoughts? What do you think?
Watch it. You'll love it.
Yeah,
Make
watching.
sure you see it in 3D.
See it in 3D.
With surround sound.
Yeah.
You've got to. That's the only way you're going to get the full advantage of the movie, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a fan of George Clooney or Sandra Bullock to enjoy this movie.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
That is so true. Because there's a few people who, I don't know how, but like they don't like Sandra Bullock, I can't see. But George Clooney, I think he's amazing. He's always been amazing.
He's boss. The only reason you hate him is basically if you want to be him. Sorry. Screw. You have to admit it.
Yeah, so 10 out of 10?
10 out of 10.
Wow. That's amazing coming from him. 10 out of 10 for me, too. This is a movie that I'm going to just puzzle over and just meticulously break down for a long time to come. And mind blown. See it. Peace.